But for people with ADHD, I think it's more so that there's the need to constantly have your mind, stimulated and going. And there's a constant need for stuff, like processing-wise, and you make different associations, for me at least. Like, I think of stuff totally differently than everyone else. And people are like, that's kind of strange, or, that's a little odd. But I'm just like, hey, it's kind of entertaining, it's kind of well thought out, even though it is random. It's definitely on a different, I guess, plane than some other people's way of thinking.
I remember in elementary school having to sit over math book for 3 hours at a time, just bawling my eyes out. My book would not be soaked, but there were just tears all over the place, and I would wake up, like I'd fall asleep on my books and wake up and start crying because I knew I had to spend another 4 or 5 hours spent on this math assignment, and because I just didn't understand because I couldn't pay attention in class.
I would say, yes, this is a disorder to people, because I would ask them how it would feel for them to be on speed all the time and then all of a sudden be cut off of it and then on it. Your mind is in one place 1 minute and then you want to get up and do something another minute. So yes, I believe it is a disorder.
I personally, since I have it, I feel like it's something I can't help. It was something I was born with.
I think people who think that ADD is not a disorder are more closed-minded, and they don't really understand because they don't have it, so it's hard for someone to understand something that they can't feel. But I think it is a disorder, and it is a problem, and it is an issue within our society, and it's very common.
I think a lot of people say that it's not a disorder and it's not a real thing, and that the person's just lazy or dumb or just not smart in general. And I don't think that's true at all. I think people with ADHD or ADD just have a different way of processing their thoughts, and they think differently, and they also learn differently, and it just takes a lot to stimulate them.
I do feel like it's a disorder because it keeps me behind in school, and I've had problems all my life through school just because I can't pay attention, and I have to be medicated in order to get anything accomplished because I find myself having to read things over and over again, and I think it's a disorder because my brain just works differently than other people's. It's not, it's something that can be fixed.
If someone was misdiagnosed, I don't feel they would be by any means completely harmed by it. And anyway, it would just make them focus maybe a lot more.
I think a lot of people are misdiagnosed with it just because it's a quick fix. It's easier for somebody to be like, here's some medication, than to discipline them, or I don't know, make them sit in recess room or sit on the bench during recess or something like that. I think it's just easier to medicate them so that, I think a lot of times though that since they are misdiagnosed, they take medication that's not right for them, so they turn into zombies. And that's happened plenty of times. We all hear about it on a daily basis. My cousin is somebody who's a perfect example. He just, he's got all these problems, but they misdiagnosed him, and he just kind of sits there a lot of the time, and it's not cool.
Misdiagnosis is a problem just because it's really easy to give a child a pill to, correct their behavior. Or if they're misdiagnosed and they're given a pill, it'll just kind of make them, totally, like for me, when I take medication, I'm really high, and then I go from high to, I'm just kind of spacing out, I guess you'd say, but I do concentrate a lot more, and I get tasks done. Whereas if I don't take my medicine, I'm wondering a lot. Like I know when I was in elementary school, I used to wonder a whole lot, like I mentally wonder, not like wander around, but I did that too.
I got this far in my life not being on any kind of medicine and just doing my day-to-day life. Yes, it was a lot harder, and if I was on it sooner, I believe I would have been able to advance maybe a little more in school, but it hasn't, I don't think, really changed me completely. I can tell, like, if I take it in the morning and it hasn't worn off by the end of the day, I can still tell I'm like, blah, hi, I'm Barb.
I need it, so I buy it, and I shouldn't, but I have to, because I know that that's what I need to do in order to concentrate.
It gave me a reason that school had always been so difficult. It wasn't because I was stupid, it wasn't because I was dumb, and I'd always thought that. It was because, I was just different than everybody else, and there's a lot of people with my kind of condition, and they get so frustrated.
I can sit there and concentrate on one thing. Like, I won't have to get up and clean the dishes, or like or have to change subjects the whole entire time to keep myself interested in doing my homework.
I want to get out of school. I can't stand school. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me because I've had such a hard time with it the whole time.
For me personally, my mom and I met with my teachers and kind of discussed different ways we could go about me absorbing information. And also, back to medication, it did help me to study and get good grades. But I think it's definitely at a local personal level. Like, I think if you have a child with ADHD, you should definitely meet with the teachers, consider medication. I mean, I think I turned out okay, but I mean, it is kind of scary giving your young child a pill, because pills are scary.
It's a lateral thinking thing. We think, you know, here's the road, but we kind of think this way. And I think we need those people in order to have innovation. I think we actually were talking about this the other day in my psychology class, that the people who are, you know, who have a disability or just think differently, they use different parts of their brain. And kind of like Einstein is a perfect example. They said he was crazy, but he just thought differently. And where would we be without, you know, some of the inventions we have, or, you know, things that he said and stuff like that. It's just, I think we tend to come up with things that people, you know, the normal people, whatever, don't really think of, because they don't really think outside of the box a lot of the time. Not saying people don't, but, you know, I think we tend to think outside of the box, and it's hard for us rather to be inside the box like everybody else. They're inside, and it's hard for them to look out, and it's kind of opposite for us.
And don't be afraid of it, because it's good times. Because I really do have a lot of fun with my random connections and processes.